Hey everybody, Lucky Denver here. We're coming up at the end of Act 4 of Kentucky Route Zero, and I'm getting a little sad. I've really gotten into this, and I hope everybody else did too. And I hope you enjoy what's to come, but if you enjoy that, it's because I played this, and this made me want to keep going. So let's get to the end of Act 4 and then Act 5, and we'll be done. And it'll probably be a little emotional for me, but I'm ready. La 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 la. All right. See that rough circle of rocky protrusions near the shore? It's more intricate than it looks. More than two-thirds of it is actually underwater. I haven't seen it myself, but listen to this. It's man-made, and the rocks weren't placed according to their size. So what's visible is more or less a uniformly random selection of the overall shape. Looks like it might have been a spiral, all told, or maybe some kind of meditative labyrinth. At the head of it is a petrified oak stump. That was moved here from above ground, of course, decades ago. That's where the ceremony took place. The Lock-Lucks were married here. Many frail-tongued observers said they should just go with lock or luck, or split the difference with look, or even lick, or really anything else. But it was never going to happen. Greta Luck and Norm Locke were high school sweethearts. They took a chemistry class together where she challenged him to shoot the moon, learning formulae and compounds well enough to answer every test question exactly wrong and achieve a perfect failing grade. Their engagement was welcome news for the family business, who had been looking for some opportunity to merge interest. See what our options here are. The Locks ran a busy printing press, and the Lucks managed a fleet of bicycle couriers. These were the Locks of Lock Large Animal Storage and the Lucks of the Luck Family Nut Company. I like the printing press and the bicycle courier, so we're going to go with that. The natural next step was to start a local paper, which would become the Echo River Evening Record. I really like that. I like that combination of words. I'm kind of a word geek. The ceremony itself is humble and perfunctory. Hopefully. I'm very tired, so if my reading's a little off, I'm sorry. And it must have somehow involved these rocks. Maybe they walked around them in a spiral, like a symbol of their ever-tightening bond. Probably these rocks marked the boundaries between the two families, Lucks on the inner loop and Locks on the outer, or the other way around. No, we're going with the ever-tightening bond. And it must have also involved that petrified stump. Neither family is particularly religious, but rumors persist that the officiant wore a robe. This has just been such a meditative little journey. Shannon helped me fix up a mushroom stew in the kitchen. Shannon and her friend set out in the dinghy to deliver a package at the telephone exchange. I like that one. Yeah, I've really enjoyed this little journey, both in game and out of game. It's kind of been an experience for me. Echo River Central Exchange. Last sip of coffee for the evening. Kate, thanks again for your help. This is about as far as the tugboat can go. You know, noise and lights disturb the bats. I usually send Will, but he's up to his elbows in mammoth grease right now. So you'll pass through the bat sanctuary, which is really nice, by the way. Be sure to check out all the plaques and stuff for cool bat facts. Plenty of time. Anyway, the Echo River Central Exchange, or excuse me, Consolidated Auxiliary Switch number 30. We changed the name when the power company took over. Anyway, it's just on the other side of the bat sanctuary. The package is going to Poppy. She's an operator. The operator. We'll meet you on the other side at Salmonida's for a scheduled early breakfast stop. Just follow the river. Can't miss it. Oh, I almost forgot. You may or may not be interested. There's this kind of weird memorial sculpture on your way in, just before the bat sanctuary. I always recommend people at least stop and take a look at it. It's really sort of... I don't know how to say it. You should check it out. Okay, bye. Oh, we're going. Oh, no, definitely want the light on. So I just click forward. Okay, this is a different point of view than we've really had before. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm going to be a little sad to get to the end. Well, let's see. Is this it? I can't really tell if I'm moving or it's the... Ah, here we go. We claim these helmets in the names of the folks who wore them, and we place them here in their memory, but also as a spit in the greedy green eye of the power company who bought up our old mine and traded our brothers and sisters' safeties for a little more yield, but only yielded 28 good men and women dead when the walls collapsed and the tunnels filled with water. Holy shit, that's deep and dark, but it's kind of the balance of this game, right? It's this light, surreal adventure mixed with very real themes. I think that's why it resonated with me, and that's something that I like in any form of art, where you can sort of have an oddity or something out there or strange or different and still have it be almost human and relatable, and I'm getting a lot of that from this game. I almost wish I had the camera on at certain times, because my facial reactions I think would have been beneficial to sort of see my mind, the wheels spinning, especially when the music was kicking in. Their lungs were black, but now they're washed clean and full of water too, and swept through hidden tunnels into some awful cave we will never find. And so we guess the water buried them for us. So let this here be the marker for their grave. And if any son of a bitch from that power company wants to take back these helmets as company property, just you try it and see what will happen. Hey, Elkhorn. That's the mine we met in, where your folks, worked. Looks like it's been here a while. I sure as hell wouldn't mess with it. Think whoever wrote it is still that angry? Ooh, these are both good responses. I don't think you ever forget anger like that. No, I guess you probably don't. This probably stirs up, how do you... I'm gonna go with the first one. It's fine. I'm glad this is here. People should remember this happened. Well, here we are, remembering. I didn't even know it the first time around, but here I am remembering it now. That's a fine memorial, I guess. Alright, so we are kind of moving on our own. For a second I thought maybe I was in control, but it seems like it's going to steer me, which is good. But as I was saying, I like odd things that retain some sense of relation and humanity. And even though I'm going to be playing much different games on the channel, you've seen Doom at this point. Oh wow, they are actually here. Okay. What? You're looking at me like I'm crazy. Just sometimes I forget I don't even really know you that well. Yeah, well, that makes two of us. You know, those guys from the distillery are just making the best of a bad situation, just like the rest of us. Hey, one of them said to me earlier they could even help me take care of these medical bills for my leg, you know? Get it all together on a plan, consolidated. That sounds like a really bad idea. Oh, I don't know. They seem to have a lot of experience with this kind of stuff. They've got a whole process figured out. Anyway, I have a feeling it'll all work out. Even for me? Hey, why not? Seems like we're getting pretty close to finding your cousin, right? And besides that, you're young and smart. Plenty of time to bounce back from... whatever. Listen, that old truck I've been driving belonged to my boss, Ira. Lisette's husband. To be honest, Ira didn't like me very much. But somehow Liz got it into her mind that he would have wanted me to have that truck someday. Maybe to make up for all the yelling he did, or maybe so his ghost could hold it over me. Just one more thing to feel like I owed him. Anyway, they got their own trucks at the distillery, and now that the antique shop is closing up, I've got no use for that old truck. I was thinking you could take it. Yeah, I'm going with the third option. Sure, I could keep an eye on it for you until you get straightened out. Sure, okay, sounds good. Sure, yeah. And at this point, you've already seen Doom and Heavy Rain, so you can tell that I'm going to try to switch things up and play something different, but there will always be a room for meditative games like this and thoughtful games, and they're not going to go away, if anyone was worried. Sign. Visitors to the Echo River, Kentucky River Bat Artificial Hibernacum and Sanctuary are asked to take extra precautions in order to prevent the introduction of foreign fungal contaminants and the spread of white nose syndrome. Someone's been partying. Please do not visit the sanctuary during the same day in which you visited any cave known or suspected to host bats infected with white nose syndrome. Please do not leave your vehicle. If you must leave your vehicle, please remove shoes, clothes, jewelry, headwear, and eyeglasses to ensure you do not bring any foreign spores ashore with you. Please do not touch any bats or structures. The Kentucky River bat is confused by light. If you are using a lantern or other artificial light source, be aware it may attract and confuse bats. If you are approached by bats, do not panic, relax, stop your vehicle, and switch off your light. Never touch a bat. So, oh man, oh shit. That's a tough call. We can't see. Oh no. Fuck. Oh no. I don't want to turn the light off, but I don't want to just have you guys staring at a black screen. Ooh. Tricky. Tricky. Well, I guess we'll just get approached by some bats. That's okay. But yeah, if anybody was concerned that like, oh, he's playing bigger games, no, there will always be these kind of games on my channel. That's what it's built on, and that's what I would like it to remain. I have to do different stuff for my own sanity as well, and for the enjoyment of others, because I think having variety is a really good option. Bat fact. Ever talk with your mouth full? Bats do it all the time. Bats talk in extremely high-frequency clicks, too high for humans to hear. Then they use their powerful ears to scan for the echoes of these ultrasonic clicks. By comparing very subtle differences in the time these echoes take to come back, differences of just milliseconds of a second, bats are able to picture their environment with enough accuracy to catch a flying insect. Once a bat has caught an insect in its mouth, it's still flying, and so it still needs to avoid running into anything, so bats keep clicking away, even while they munch on a tasty bug snack. Maybe poor table manners, but it's crucial for surviving in the dark. I wonder how the other bats know whether one of them is really talking or just chasing a bug. Sometimes it's hard to know with people, too. Oh, yeah, like, how about this weather? I guess there are layers to it, right? Sometimes you just need to get the other person talking so you can check their body language or hear what their voice sounds like. I absolutely 100% agree with that. I've said that to many people in the past. Finding out if they're friendly or angry or drunk. I love the scenery in this game. I love the approach to angles and light, and oh, it's just all so mesmerizing. Yeah, I cannot. Bat fact. The Kentucky River bat's natural diet mostly consists of moths and other small insects that breed along the river. Here at the artificial hibernaculum and sanctuary, we use a combination of chemical snares and ultrasonic wards to repel all potentially contaminant-bearing insects and replace them with our own locally bred and spawned hypoallergenic antiseptic pseudomoths, which we call the little gray nothing moth. You may be thinking that other moths and insects the Kentucky River bat would have been eating are very much relieved that their natural predator is found another food source. Not so. We've installed netting and highly effective moth traps along the river where the Kentucky River bat normally hunts to balance their escape from the food chain. But eating moths isn't the only systemic contribution these bats make. They also produce a potent fertilizer in the form of guano that helps plant life thrive along the Echo River, the shore of Lake Leth. In order to minimize the sanctuary's impact on subterranean agriculture, we collect that precious guano here at the hibernaculum, that's such a weird word, and manually distribute throughout the caves. It's a full-time job. Sounds like a lot of work. They eat fake moths? Yeah, reading. Hypoallergenic antiseptic pseudomoths, the little gray nothing moth. Well, a lot of people eat fake food, right? Food taken apart and then put back together so it looks and tastes like something they remember eating before, even if they never really did. Right. Oh, sorry. Right, it is reassuring to know that someone's taking care of everything for these little bats. See, I'm going to go with it kind of bothers me, like they're tricking the bats. Like, I don't know. Yeah, in this case, I think it's about survival. I mean, that's the bottom line. What's the difference? Like the folks in the mine, you said they used to buy stuff. Fans, canaries, all those little trinkets to make it bearable. There's still a lot of stuff down there. It feels cluttered, but human. I just mean, All people need is enough to pretend we're home, and we can make it anywhere. Whoo, game! You're doing it. You're hitting me right in the heart. Oh, I can feel that. All people need is enough to pretend we're home, and we can make it anywhere. Whoo! Whoo! Sure, people can, but what about bats? Maybe we'll have to teach them. Hell, what am I saying? I know about 100% more on the subject of bats now than I did when we came down here. Right in the heart with that line. Like an arrow. Ooh, beautiful. Beautiful. As I was saying before the talking started, and will again. These are my bread and butter. I want to do smaller games. I want to highlight indie games and all that. Not because it's the thing to do, but because usually those are the games that resonate with me and the games I'm more likely to finish. But I do feel the need to okay, you got to do something different than read reams of text, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep it. I'm going to keep rotating and changing and seeing what works and what doesn't. White nose syndrome is still largely a mystery. We suspect that white fungal growth, which appears on bats' faces and wings, irritates and confuses them, causing them to awaken early from hibernation and venture outside, depleting stored energy they need to survive through winter. That's really sad. But biologists are nowhere near curing the disease. It spreads quickly and is highly fatal. In this way, white nose syndrome has drawn some comparisons to colony collapse disorder as suffered by bees. White nose syndrome and colony collapse disorder are sudden, violent, and mysterious. Will honeybees and the Kentucky river bats be two more lost species, wiped out in a geological blink and forgotten in natural history? It's possible that a cure won't be identified in time, so the sanctity of this artificial hibernaculum is our best hope of preserving them. As you leave the Echo River Kentucky River Bat Hibernaculum and Sanctuary, please make sure your vehicle and clothing are free of hitchhikers. Oh man, I guess we're kind of at the end of this little section. I'm glad we didn't turn off the light. I really like the scenery. I think it's really pleasant. Well, not really saying I've seen bats in person, but I'd like to think I wouldn't be overly bothered as long as they weren't on me. So, I think that with most animals that aren't like dogs and cats and stuff, like house animals, I don't mind bugs, just don't be on me and we're cool. Ooh, things are getting mysterious. Totally going to look up the word hibernaculum at the end of this when I'm done recording. I'm very curious. Ooh, what is... The art style. My goodness. Flora. Oh, hi. I remember you. What are you doing down here? I'm just exploring. I like dark underground places. I'm a romantic. Me too, Flora. Me too. Really? So am I think. Yeah, you'd have to be to hang out down here. Okay, bye. What a weird little conversation. Careful up there. Can't drive your new truck if you slip and break your legs. You two. Oh, more options. You two. Try not to make any more bad deals while I'm gone. Ha ha! I'll just be floating along down here. I just mean keep your eyes open and don't look back. Ooh. Dashiell? It's a unique name. Dashiell? Could be bypassed with another capacitor at 100 nanofarads to reduce noise. If your circuit's too noisy, you should tie those floating pins to the ground. Huh? That's a pretty good idea. Probably picking up all kinds of radio interference. Dashiell Morse, pleased to meet you. We don't install this type of phone for customers anymore, but there are quite a few of them still in circulation. Anyway, the new system doesn't source enough current to ring these old bells, so I'm trying to come up with a workaround. Maybe a little box the customer can attach right before the wall jack? I'm a bit of a circuit geek myself. I bet. You seem very comfortable with electronics. Is this your first time down here? Yeah, I can tell. Your eyes can't quite adjust to the light. It takes some practice. Believe it or not, I've been coming here since I was a kid, for one reason or the next. Back then, this place was a train station. It's true. They had bats then, too, but they were considered a nuisance. What did you come here for as a kid? I usually came here with my grandmother. We took the train out to the town she lived in, or in the other direction back to my parents' home. In my memories, it was always cold. Winter, I guess. Sometimes now I walk along the tunnel, run my hand along these wet stone walls, and close my eyes. Ringing footsteps and the drip, drip, drip of the grimy stalactites. Well, the river shifted and this place slowly filled with water, carrying the trains away with the current. It does that, the river, and I don't begrudge it. It's a good reminder that everything we have is borrowed, even trains. Eventually, someone at the Bureau of Reclaimed Spaces heard this place was still empty, so they moved the phone company in here. I returned here as a young lineman, a skill I picked up in wartime, running telephone wires behind enemy lines. We used trees instead of poles. I missed that, actually. They were easier to climb. It's just as well. I'm in no shape to be climbing anything these days. The closest I get is patching up the wiring in the crystal room for the WEVP folks. WEVP, that's community television. I've volunteered there for a number of years. I know everybody over there. Ralph, Sherry, Weaver, Dave. Weaver Marquez? Sure, Weaver Marquez. That's funny. I was just thinking about her. Yeah, I met her a couple times at the TV station. I suppose I didn't know her too well. She handled the archives, and I was helping with wiring and stuff. She really seemed to know her way all around that gear, though. She had a head for signals, I think. No idea where she ended up. I would guess she's probably not too popular around the station anymore, but I always liked her. Listen, miss, if you're interested in WEVP, you should go talk to them directly. They're always looking for volunteers. Take the ferry over to the silo. There's a mail stop there. They don't have a sign or anything. Just ask around. I guess I'll get back to this damn old ringer. Poppy's just a little further down if you're dropping off that package. Nice chatting with you. That was a nice little conversation. Wait, what? I want to get back to the boat. Oh, wait, there's a plaque. What's that say? Abel and Eloise, the lovers' couriers. Bred for racing, Abel and... I feel like Eloise? Spent most of their lives as carrier pigeons in the employ of the Echo River Avian Post. They retired here after Abel was disfigured in an accident with a light aircraft, but old habits were hard to die. Abel and Eloise would pick up scraps of paper from the ground, the trash, even pull them out of pockets and deliver them to other people nearby, to delight or embarrassment. Word spread, and travelers passing through this tunnel began to come prepared with love letters, poems, and other written desires to pass along indirectly through these pigeons. After a hard day's work, Abel and Eloise, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, would always be found nestled closely together in the disused newspaper stand set aside for the habitation, and that's where we left them. Oh, that was really sweet. I don't know why. I really liked that. That was cute. I want to get back on the boat. Didn't he say, oh, maybe I have to walk? I could be crazy. Yeah, it looks like maybe I am walking. For some reason I thought I'd get back in the boat. Or dinghy, as it's called. Poppy! Never mind. Found her! Just set it right over there by the lamp, sweetie. Thanks. Actually, just a minute. Who does that parcel claim to be from? Ooh, choices. That's weird. There's no label on it. Let's see what happens. Well, if we're lucky, it's chocolates from a secret admirer and not a snake from an assassin. So who are you? Do you work for the post office or the tugboat? I only ask because I haven't seen you before. Was that you I heard chatting down the hall? I'm just doing Kate a favor, dropping off this package. Kate! I love Kate! She helped deliver both my nieces, one at a hospital and one at the base of a mossy moonlit oak. It was beautiful. I love Kate. I think Loretta's granddaughter used her too. Oh, Loretta used to work here. Actually, I think quite a few of her former operators have relied at some time on Kate's services. Well, now I guess they'll have more time with their little ones. As you can see, all their chairs are empty. It wasn't always like this. When I came to work at the Echo River Central Exchange, there were 12 of us. Loretta, Edna, Meg, Kara, Marie, Lois, Liz, Hester, Angie, Wilma, Connie. I was number 12. Connie and I were hired on the same day, but she showed up early. Marie finished college, and Hester was fired for snapping at a rude caller. But he had it coming, and I hear she did just fine on her own, so they hired Beryl, Jaina, and Sachiko? Which brought us up to 13, and that was as many operators as we've ever had here at one time. The power company came along, buying up all the lines, and one day they took the exchange as a throw-in, like it was nothing. Nothing! They started phasing us out. Edna, Meg, Kara, and Lois left one Friday evening and were asked not to come back on Monday morning. Beryl saw the writing on the wall and quickly found employment at a private PBX. They had Jaina and Liz stop routing calls and write up some kind of best practices document instead. It was their final task as exchange employees. Some of the girls were reassigned to other divisions. Connie, I think, was checking residential meters. Sachiko and Wilma were moved into energy sales, cold calling businesses to see if they needed to upgrade their electricity plan. At least they were still on the phone. Then it was just Loretta, Angie, and me. We were swamped. The hours were hell and hard on the throat. The voice with a smile became a croak. I was gargling warm salt water in the break room, sipping from a thermos full of hot honey broth stashed under my chair. Oh, I brought a lot of extended technique to the switchboard in those days. A phone call. Sounded pretty good to me. He's got the voltage too high. He'll burn out the relay. So, where was I? Extended switchboard technique. It was all about timing your breath. Some girls got lightheaded doing too many calls in a row, with that upbeat dynamic inflection they made us use to keep everything intelligible. It was very physical. So, after a few months, it was just me. A new automation strategy was announced, and this place was rechristened Consolidated Auxiliary Switch Number 30. Are you lonely? Sure. This place feels different when it's empty. Cold to the touch. And, it really is all about touch here. Sound is a vibration, a touch you can feel in your ears, so my voice is my touch. When we're talking, we're touching, even on the phone. That's an electric touch, an intimate little shock that makes your tiny hairs tremble. That's not even what I mean when I say it's all about touch here. When the power company first tried automating this old exchange with fancy new transistor arrays, the switchboard caught fire. It was just too much, too fast. They tried using some clunky old mechanical relays, but the calls were getting mismatched and out of sync. It was a nightmare. Their technicians determined that the phone system down here had been designed ad hoc over decades around the specific tempo of its human operators. So, short of replacing the whole thing, not to mention all the wiring, they'd have to work out the exact timing of every little human gesture that goes into routing a phone call. And that, officially, is my role here. I run the switchboard for the whole exchange. Once the work of 12, I'd like to remind you, they have some kind of machine somewhere that tracks how long it takes me to do each little thing. The caller never hears my voice now. They dial, my little indicator lights switch on, and I make the connection. Do you miss talking to the callers? There's something that bothers me about the process, besides the fact that I'm training my replacement, who isn't even human. Here's what I mean. How long do you think it should take to time my every move and recreate the timing in an automated switchboard? Rough estimate. Maybe a week? That's what I said, but this has been going on for over a year, and a very dark thought has started to nag at me. What if there is no cheap machine that's going to replace me? What if it's cheaper just to keep me here, filling in for the rhythm of the operators? What if I'm the cheap machine? Ooh. You're not a machine. Nice of you to notice. I'm more in the Echo River Central Exchange, and I'll carry a torch for the voice with a smile. But at least I'm keeping some part of a human, right? Even if it's not the best part. See, and it goes back to the humanity I was talking about earlier. We bring it back around. Oh, the parcel. Right over there by the lamp is fine. Thanks for dropping that off. Take care. Think of me when you dial 0. That's a sad little exchange. And there's the... Uh-oh. 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 What? What is going on? What happened? Where did Conway go? What's going on? What the fuck, guys? What the fuck is happening? What the hell? Don't you dare say end of Act 4. Don't you dare. Don't you dare.